What up, everyone? I'm Rich Mays Lopez.
And I'm Brendan Dunn, news editor at Soul Collector.
I'm Matt Welty, editor of Complex Sneakers.
We have two very, very special guests on the show with us today. We have Peter and Erik from Sneakersnstuff, co-owners of one of the most successful sneaker. What would you guys? I don't want to say a chain. So what do we call it?
Boutique.
The chain has like a bad store line.
Yeah, store is probably good.
There we go. In Europe, but now hopefully one to be one of the most successful sneaker stores in New York City. And we'll get into that. This is our last show of 2017.
Wow.
This is it. We made it.
We're honored.
We made it. We're ending on a big note. I mentioned first in the intro, co-owners of Sneakersnstuff, right? World-renowned sneaker store. Recently moved into New York City. Congratulations, first of all, fellas.
Thank you.
Welcome to my home.
Thank you.
Wait, they opened a store in Queens?
Well, New York is my home. But first, I want to start, before we even get to New York, just tell us, Peter, first, a little bit about Sneakersnstuff.
Yeah, we're two guys that had a little bit too big interest in sneakers back in the 90s. We went back and forth to the US, especially New York City. Picked up stuff that you couldn't get in Europe, sold to friends. Started a store in 98, opened 99. Fast forward, we got 127 employees, 5 doors, 5 different countries.
And where can we find Sneakersnstuff globally?
Stockholm, where we were born, London, Paris, Berlin, and now Meatpacking District.
New York City, gotcha. You guys started out as a hand-to-hand operation, so
We're basically resellers, if you want to, if you want to call it that.
Well, we're happy you admitted that, because a lot of people come on the show and they don't want to admit that they were or are resellers.
We were the geekiest sneaker nerds in Stockholm. So like all our friends and even friends and then like random people came into the store we worked and like, hey, I heard you're going to New York. Could you pick me up a pair of shoes? It's like, yeah, sure. What do you want?
what were they copying back then?
Lots of
Well,
Air Force Ones.
Air Force
their
Ones.
request was specifically buy me something that is not available here.
Of course.
Whatever it is, it wasn't like buy me that shoe. It's more like, can you get me something that nobody else has? We brought home like 200 pairs of shoes at the time. Like,
Wow.
now they changed all the like you can't carry that luggage. on the plane.
How were you able to like figure out how much you would charge someone back then, like reselling shoes?
We had,
Because there was no like
No,
market
so we,
value.
like-
We had a list. People paid us like, let's say they paid us $150. So we had a name, size, what they wanted, and price that they wanted to pay. Sometimes it was like the latest pennies, and they might be 8% cheaper in Jersey, so we went there.
Brendan, let's kick off our new section, please.
Yeah, other than the obvious Sneakersnstuff opening here in New York City, the next thing we want to talk about is this Kendrick Lamar Cortez image that surfaced this week. He posted it himself on Instagram. This is the second we've seen of a Kendrick Lamar Cortez. A couple months ago, there was a leaked Nike product image. Nike later clarified with us that that was not reflective of the final version of the shoe. We're thinking maybe this is more like what we're going to see at retail. There's not a lot of context around it. Chinese lettering on the toe, I believe that translates roughly to damn, and then don't trip on the laces. Obviously, Kendrick is Nike's, can we call him Nike's biggest signing this year in terms of endorsers? Is that fair?
I guess
Virgil is not an endorser, right? His biggest collaborator.
I put Virgil in a different category, I guess. Have they had any bigger like acquisition in terms of celebrities this year than
Not
Kendrick?
celebrities, but Giannis was a big one in terms of
Sure.
basketball.
Yeah, but I think Kendrick moves the needle more than any sort of athlete.
Sure,
Yeah.
100%.
And from the start, it was kind of assumed that they would do something with him around the Cortez, because
Yeah,
Cortez is such a
makes
West Coast shoe. He's rapped about the Cortez, and they're celebrating the 45th anniversary this year.
And
so.
it's crazy that the brands keep on letting Kendrick go back to this like kind of gang theme, where you had on the Reebok Classic, you had the blue and the red, and you clearly have like the set tripping sort of, reference down the laces, where it's like brands are kind of open. You see like, drug references on Pusha T sneakers that they're not really like towing a line anymore. They're just throwing it out in the open.
Is this shoe any good, though?
I think it's dope.
Kids are going to
Really?
go crazy
I
over
think
this
it's
sneaker.
dope. I think it's really dope.
I could do without this.
Let me ask you guys a question from a European perspective. Kendrick is entertainer, obviously, as Brendan said. We always speak about on this show how entertainers have replaced basketball players or athletes as the endorsers that really push the needle, as Matt said. Are you guys seeing that as well overseas?
Of course. It's a global thing. Sneakers is it's the same wherever you go, I guess.
So
if
is
you go-
Kendrick hitting in Europe
Yeah,
as he's hitting in America?
If it's
Yeah,
a relevant shoe, because the first couple of drops they did for Reebok, they sold out like that.
Yeah.
The last, let's say 2, wasn't maybe that good.
Yeah, but
Well, the
I think
sneakers
it's a matter
themselves
of that there's so many things happening, so many, like, they're just combining Kendrick and Nike doesn't necessarily make it an instant hit. It has to be a good product too.
Yeah.
So, like, I think this will work, but same thing with, there was, like, the Reebok Future collaboration.
That's a infamous sneaker.
That's the
Length
worst
about that
worst
shoe.
sneaker of the year, right?
But
Is it?
I'm just curious because, like, I obviously we love Reebok. We worked with Reebok numerous times, and Future is such a big name, and then the product is just not all the way there, and just so it becomes
Is
a
it
bit
anyway
pointless.
It's like 17% of the way there.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
my
it's
humble
like
opinion.
probably even less than that. So it's not even just the endorser and just the brand. The product obviously has to be there too.
Yeah, product is always going to be key.
Are you guys moving any Fury Consis?
No, it didn't really fly off the shelf. No, sorry,
Didn't fly off.
sorry, guys, but it didn't. No.
This week in Jordan news, several big things came to light. First, the Katrina Air Jordan 3 is finally releasing. This is a sneaker that has been rumored for at least since Hurricane Katrina. And Encore Air Jordan 4, which we spoke about last week, is finally confirmed by way of Eminem on our own sneaker shopping.
But I remember you're like, I'll do anything crazy to get this shoe, and there's only 23
Yeah,
pairs.
that I
So
didn't know
what's
about.
your plan now?
You know what, dude? I didn't even. I'd rather give StockX the $10 and walk away than give them $10 and enter another fucking sneaker raffle. I am done with sneaker raffles in 2017. No disrespect to you guys, because I know you guys do raffles, but can't do them anymore. I'll give you the $10 or $20 and walk away.
What's the wildest thing you would do to like get a pair of sneakers like this?
Nothing, dude. I would nothing at all.
Really?
The idea is that Jordan is kind of either finally giving the people what they want, because we've wanted the Katrinas for a very long time, or are they running out of ideas?
They did that last year or this year when this year was like kind of like the year of like taking the shoes that were all like what ifs that like never released and releasing them, and you had like Motorsport 4s dropped, nobody bought that shoe. You had like the history of was it the history of flight?
13s?
Yeah, I mean 13 wasn't the best choice, but like you had like that history of flight, and it's like they're kind of doing these things that have always been part of lore because everyone wants what they can't have, you know what I mean? And then but when you actually make 500,000 pairs of something and release it to public, it's a completely different story whether it's going to sell or not.
So wait, are you saying that you don't agree with what Jordan Brand is doing?
Surprise.
Do you think? Well, you saw that the other year where the True Blue 3s dropped and those shoes
Yeah.
sat on
Yeah, it
shelves.
was a
which
strange moment to see that
Very
happen.
strange. So it's like the Katrina 3 to me is not that much different than True Blue as far as like actual like colorway goes, and
Although Jordan Brand will be pulling back the numbers on
I
that
think
stuff
that
a
would
little
be.
bit.
I think it'd be huge.
You
I
think
think the
so?
momentum.
Yeah,
is
what's your
different, too.
perspective?
Yeah,
From
I
a
think-
retail perspective,
yeah,
because
I
you're the
think-
guys actually moving these sneakers.
Yeah, I think that particular shoe is gonna be big for us.
The Katrina 3.
It's a wide 3,
Yeah.
and
that's it.
We were
Definitely.
surprised that the True Blues didn't go away. So,
Yeah.
that was like more of a.
I actually think Jordan Brand did a great job this year on like recreating the momentum and sort of like get the energy back.
I agree
hear
with
you
that.
on the True Blues and everything, but the energy and the type of product that you see coming out now, the demand for the product is totally different from just a year ago. So like building, it's one thing to like wanting them to create and go new paths, or it's like they're just reprising everything. Is that the case now, or they're running out of ideas? I think they have to build some sort of like a platform to jump up to the next ledge. And I'm really excited about 18. Obviously, I've seen a ton of shit coming out.
Go ahead and tell us all the stuff you've seen
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
on
I mean, I
camera.
can
There's
tell
no
you,
embargoes there.
I went to SneakerCon last week. We were watching all people's feet. Like we were
course.
thinking, the brand should be there. Like there's 10,000 kids, and that's sort of what's happening. And we could see that roughly 50% of the kids they wore Adi, which like for us coming from Europe to the US, that's like it's been like this maybe for a couple of years. But before it was maybe 99% Nikes, and the rest was
And
random.
J's.
And Matt Welty was over in the corner with
Yeah.
his.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, but
he is
like
the
trainers
1%.
50%, I'd say hype hype Addy.
Yeah.
Like lots of Yeezys, of course, and NMDs and Ultra Boosts. But you could also see that Jordan brand was bigger than Nike, which is pretty weird.
Speaking of J's, someone got their first pair of J's this week?
So
It wasn't Welty.
It wasn't me. Well, I've had actually.
Yeah, SpongeBob Dub Zeros.
Mosh made you these.
I love my. Oh
SpongeBob Dub Zeros.
Over the weekend, Tyler the Creator announced that he had just tweeted, "Just bought my first pair of J's, guys. I'll show you in a second. Like picture coming soon." And then he posted this picture where he's wearing the shattered backboards with a pair of camo pants and.
This is a good fit.
And you immediately regretted getting rid of your pair?
Yeah.
Do you like it? Do you rate his fit?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I'm not like out here like, you know, I just certain things aren't for me. Just like certain things aren't for you.
Very
I
true.
don't think you should hate on people for liking what they like.
I don't.
But either way, enough on that. Tyler the Creator, you know, he bought these, and you know, as he's part of Converse now, he can wear Jordans. I don't think he actually went out and purchased these. He probably got
Is this a conspiracy theory?
maybe.
How deep does this go?
I don't think a big like Nike endorser is actually going out and like buying like semi easy to. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. I mean, how does that sneaker shopping thing with Complex work? You know, you see these guys sponsored by Nike coming and buying Nikes.
We can't
for
tell
like
you exactly
10
how
times
it
the
works.
price.
We can't give
Stated
away
goods.
the sauce, but
I'm just curious. I'm he might have paid $1,000.
you might have paid.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, $1,000 to him is probably
Because
$100 to me.
his Converse this year was actually he's sort of responsible for sort of bringing them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Really successful as a retailer.
I think like Tyler has that vibe too. Like he's natural. He's not
100%
like
organic,
so you,
yeah.
you sort of get the feeling that he might as well just walked in somewhere and bought the shoes out of love for product, whatever. Like you get that feeling from him.
Frank Cook, if you want to come on the show.
What's up, Frank?
And tell us
Yeah.
whether or not you sent these to Tyler. We would love to know.
Do you think that this is part of what you guys are talking about, a resurgence of Jordan, that someone like Tyler, like you said, who's so organic and is able to connect with the kids on that level, is this part of that? Is this going to help move Jordans?
5, 6, 7 years, brands went too big and too like over the head of the consumers. So now linking with people that are very true to like what they do, it's a way for brands to become, I don't know, personal again, or like become among the people again, so to speak. So I think it's a great look. It's a good move, and like you will definitely see more of that kind of vibe.
Mir is Swedish for
Mir is Swedish
more.
for more.
I think it was funny that, just to add it before going to the next, that I forgot he tweeted when he bought these, he didn't know what they were. They kind of look like Dunks. That's like that's like how he described his sneakers. Kind of like, I just got some new Jordans. Kind of look like Dunks, which I thought was hilarious.
Speaking, fellas, about you guys opening up a store here in New York City, we want to talk about the retail landscape in 2017, 2018.
We'd love to.
What are you guys seeing right now that you weren't seeing when you first started?
You know, obviously the death of malls, they're not that sort of hype anymore. I think special stores like whatever, Dover Street Market, like stores that are doing something different, people will sort of travel to before they travel to to a mall outside of town. But
Right.
I think from what I understand, and don't quote me, but I hear a lot of big chains are like Chic just closed 150 doors.
Yeah.
So there's like all these small sort of based retailers are struggling while we have the time of our life. So it's.
Are you guys gonna take down Foot Locker? Or-
No, I mean we bought a lot of stuff from Eastbay back in the days.
Yeah, you guys are worldwide what you're flipping.
Yeah, we bought white jade green Air Force Ones, like $29 shipped. Erik got really friendly with customer service at Eastbay.
Yeah.
Shipped them to Sweden, sold them for like 150. That was good. Sold back to New York. That was
Yeah, sold them
even
back
more
to New York. That
yeah.
was weird.
Wow.
Now, take down Foot Locker is a big thing, though, I suppose. But I thought, like, what I see
Is that a
in the
goal of
retail,
yours,
like, no, our
If
goal
we-
is to be ourselves. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna do our thing.
Right.
If Foot Locker goes down on the way, like,
Are they
it's not our
competition
goal,
for
really.
you? Like, who is the competition in New York? Is it Kith? Is it Foot Locker? Is it Extra Butter?
I mean,
Personally, I always felt like all the independent stores that sort of mean something. They care for product. They care for storytelling. Combined, will probably affect Foot Locker or like the mall of the world. But like well, this is an eternal thing. But like we made a vow like 10 years ago, not really to look at competition anymore because you spend so much time looking at what everybody else is doing.
Right.
So you sort of lose track and stop focusing on what you should do.
I mean, if you go back 10 years or 15 years in time, you walk down Broadway, you had, what, 25 doors?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
so
pretty close to each
alone.
other. They're all gone.
Yeah.
Like maybe Michael K is there, but you know, all the others are gone. So it's you know, you have to be good at what you're doing. If you're sort of don't get it, you won't survive. Survival of the fittest, I guess.
Is there something that I want both of you guys to answer? Do you think that Americans are doing wrong with sneaker culture, or your biggest pet peeve about American sneakerheads?
Wealthy does. He's American, but he still feels that way.
I used to have a problem with the bad look of denim for like 10 years. Footwear was good, but the denim looked terrible. Now it's getting there. My favorite blog of all time is "What the fuck is Michael Jordan wearing?"
Of course.
Yeah, you know, he had great shoes, but
Denim was very iffy.
Yeah.
Questionable pants.
So I got to ask this. We've spoken about this several times with several different retailers on the show. We had Jeff Staple, obviously from Reed Space Staple Design, and Stolly from A-Life. And we spoke about Nike and Adidas's ongoing attempts to kind of squeeze out the boutiques with their own direct-to-consumer retail stores like Nike Store and Adidas stores and their apps, Nike Sneakers and Adidas Confirmed. They're doing stuff like the Stash Now Nike is with their geotagged releases. What do you guys think about that and its effect on the boutiques?
I don't think it will affect boutiques. It will affect mall. Like it will affect mass market. I don't think Nike or Adidas can or should try to be the validators. I think that's difficult for them. Like, I think
they're attempting to be.
I think
though.
they are.
Yeah, I think they're
Can they drop it like a week earlier or 2 weeks
they
earlier?
attempted to do that.
Okay.
And I see a lot of change just in the recent 6 months.
Because we spoke about at Nike Town and even at the Nike Town that they're opening in 2018, 2019, they are going to be carrying the stuff that you could not get at Nike Town before. We had to go to Sneakers and Stuff to get.
Yeah.
But now we can go to Nike Town. So you're saying that that's not going to have an effect?
Well, it's tough to say, of course. Obviously, like, if the shoe is too available, it's not a good look for anyone. But if Nike Town has it, it sells out, and then we get it, like, then that doesn't really matter. So.
I actually think one of the reasons why, I don't want to say Nike lost, but Adidas was gaining more market shares a couple of years ago was the fact that Nike dropped a lot of stuff via Twitter link or, you know, like exclusive, like Red October, stuff like that. That as an independent retailer, it was hype. Supreme got some stuff, but like nothing was really released to independent retailers. And then Adidas saw, I guess, you know, a chance to sort of collaborate with tons of retailers, and all of a sudden, guys that never had, you know, 3 stripes before, all of a sudden they sold that.
Right.
You know, in the U.S. especially, there were not. There was like, you know, maybe Campus, Superstars, and Samoas at Foot Locker, but a lot of the sneaker boutiques, they never touched that.
Each week, fellas, we like to look at the best of the worst things that we've seen in sneakers this week. My personal best of the week was 2 things. The first was the Kobe 824 activation that Nike did. I am admittedly a very big Kobe fan, so what they did by bringing the MVP puppets back, or the MV puppets back, the GOAT shirt, and this 824 Nike Air Force One ID.
These are nice.
Super dope. What was crazy about this, I don't know if you guys even tried to cop this. I did cop a pair of Flex, but they sold out in under an hour, these things, which amazing for an ID sneaker. The second thing that I saw, which was super dope, was the Gatorade activation that Jordan did, where they put...
I love Gatorade.
No, I love Gatorade too, but you're not a fan of Jordan
Orange
stealing your
especially.
ideas. So what they did was they put...
You said orange?
Yeah.
Really?
Is
I
this
feel like
something
orange
against something?
Gatorade is for psychos, man.
No, orange.
No, lemon lime is, but you like
I
lemon
grew
lime,
up
don't
on
you?
Orange. No, back in the 70s, I was a football player, believe it or not, like soccer.
Okay.
That was like the
It's all,
the
about
only.
it's all about the red.
I
I'm
feel
sorry.
like it's blue, right?
Red?
Blue is ass.
What?
Blue,
the orange.
Fruit punch is off.
Anyway, so what they did was they put refrigerators in select 7-Eleven stores and select convenience stores around the country, and you had to go up and put your phone on the sneaker, augmented reality, and you got to cop it. I thought that was an ill activation to do in 2018, to marry that type of technology and then marry the local sneaker culture, like going into a 7-Eleven. Imagine walking into a 7-Eleven trying to cap yourself a Four Loko, and then all of a sudden there's like a fucking Gatorade sneaker.
You drink Four Loko? What kind
might.
of psycho are you?
I might. I also like red Gatorade. Anyway.
My worst thing this week.
What do we think's better, the activation or the sneakers? What are we saying about these shoes?
The
What are we saying
activations.
about these shoes, though?
Well, first of all, the Kobe shits were hot.
What are we saying about these shoes?
No, I have nothing to say about these sneakers.
You could have said, yeah, I think they're great.
I don't.
Okay.
He doesn't think they're great. My worst
I
thing.
think they're grape.
My worst thing of the week was Adidas absolutely playing me. Here's what happened.
I need to know the story.
Okay. I got the Yeezys on the Confirmed app.
Allegedly.
Which I did.
Oh.
I did. Which I think the Confirmed app is one of the better ways to handle hype releases
Also
right now.
trash.
Can we
Got
talk
them.
about the cost to making that type of app?
Sure.
Like an independent.
I'm sure it's ridiculous.
So expensive. People ask us like, why don't you do like Nike do? Why don't you do like Adidas do? It's like, yeah,
Why
but
don't you come to
they're
a
a
fucking store and buy a pair
billion-dollar
of
company. They
sneakers?
spend like billions on their apps. It's like, we can't do that.
And there's still problems with it because here's what
Yes.
happened. I got the sneakers on the app. I went that Saturday, a brisk Saturday in New
What
York
is
City.
brisk?
Quite blistery.
Blistery.
I went to the Adidas store on Broadway.
Yep.
I had my app ready to go. I had my phone charged, as they suggest. No real line in there. Wonderful. Not going to have to wait in line. Step to the nice young woman working there. Showed her the app. She looks at my name and she says, "Oh, we don't have your size." I said, I thought I was confirmed. I thought I was reserved. What's going on here?
That's the name of the app?
I mean, right? Apparently, they didn't get all the sneakers, and so I had to go home without my Yeezys. She took my number down. First time a woman's ever done that.
For sneaker purposes, though.
As far as I know.
Did you tweet at Wex after this happened?
I did not. And they said they'd call me. So I still have not.
Have they called?
It's Wednesday now. I still have not received a call from Adidas, but hopefully one day I will get my Yeezys that I did earn.
About 6 months ago on the show was the same Adidas confirmed situation where they had us waiting in quite warm temperatures for hours trying to cop a pair of sneakers. And it was ass. Now
At
they
least you
just
actually got your sneakers.
I got my
didn't get
sneakers, but I
fucking
lost 10
sneakers, man.
pounds in the process.
I want my sneakers.
Send the man his sneakers.
Welty?
Wealthy.
Worst thing, or it's a thing that I want to discuss a bit, where I think it's a lot of people, or some people are excited about it, but I'm not so hyped on the Kith x LeBron stuff. I think it's a bit weird. I think I understand, coming from Ronnie Fieg's perspective, that he was offered a collaboration with LeBron James, which seems amazing, from retailers.
No, that is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I think that them reaching out to him kind of signifies that it says more about Nike basketball than it does necessarily about Ronnie Fieg, where it's like I feel like Nike basketball's been in a weird spot the past year or so, the past 2 years, and it's like they're leaning heavy on like Ronnie to validate the product to make it cool. And I think that that's kind of awkward. I don't think that the product itself really speaks to what the vision of Kith looks like. I'm not saying that like he didn't design it the way that, but I don't think that the kid who's going into Kith is buying LeBron Soldier 15s.
I don't know. Ronnie can sell water to a whale, so I don't really know about that. But I want to ask you guys your perspective. Welty said that Nike basketball, he's assuming that Nike basketball is leaning on Ronnie to make them cool again. But isn't that what brands do with sneakers and stuff?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right? Aren't they?
I mean, if Nike came to us and said, "Hey, here's LeBron," I'd love to do something.
I think it's amazing. I like the product aside, but the fact that Nike...
Oh, product aside.
All product aside. But
You don't like the
just,
product?
Do you like the product?
The LeBron shoes are too heavy for me. I'm such a fast basketball player.
That's what it
so
is.
I can't
That's
really...
exactly what it is.
Yeah,
Speedy
that's
guy.
exactly what it is. No, but I love the fact that they actually... I'm not sure if it's like... I don't look at it as a desperate move. I think it's going to what we talked about earlier, where like, should Nike do their own retail and like take over everything? Here they're actually showing that they care. They care about the independent shop. They care about like other brands, smaller brands validating. I think it's amazing that Nike actually reached out to somebody else, like to somebody like Kith, who is probably big from independent level, but not compared to like a Foot Locker level.
Yeah.
So like it's still a very small brand, and they reach out and then collaborate on that. I think it's I think it shows a lot of promise on where Nike's head is at right now.
Every week we like to look at what's dropping this weekend and we pick what we would cop and what we would not cop. My cop of the week is the Altitude Air Jordan 13. I can already hear Welty's inner thoughts hating this sneaker. But to me, this was an infamous sneaker that dropped in 2005. When they retroed it in 2010 with the mesh on it, that was trash. So this is a much better representation of the sneaker that I could not get in 2005 because this sneaker caused a lot of sneaker violence and chaos and riots back then. And I'm glad that this sneaker is dropping and I'll be able to cop it this time.
You're paying $190 for these?
No, I'm not paying.
You're paying for these.
I'm paying for these.
You are
yes.
buying a pair. 100%.
I'm waiting for them, hopefully, to go on a little bit of a discount.
Okay.
Which they most likely will be.
My cop of the week is the Pata Converse 1-Star. I just think there's a lot of good 1-Star collaborations floating around that are kind of going under the radar. There's nothing super crazy going on here, but I kind of feel like I should have bought more 1-Stars.
Hell yeah.
This year.
They're
Maybe
super
that's the
comfortable.
marketing
Good
working
sneaker.
on me.
Super comfortable, yeah.
Good sneaker.
Maybe I'll go down to Sneakers and Stuff in New York City, located
Yeah,
at.
maybe
Located at.
or sneakersnstuff.com.
Or Sneakersnstuff.com.
This
You're
is
going to have to
what I
come to
get
the
myself a
store.
pair.
Welty, what are you
Yeah,
copping
yeah,
this
go to
week?
the store.
I'm going to cop this. My Polish grandfather would kill me for doing this, but it's a German Air Max 97 Army camo sneaker. I really like the.
I don't like any of these.
I
I
like
love them all. I want them all.
my
Size 10,
God.
please.
I don't
this
I want
one.
a size 10, please.
This one to me, I always thought the.
Also, Nike already did this idea years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at it.
I am.
I'm
mad.
They didn't do 97s before?
They
There
did
was a
the range
97.
of it. They did the Air Maxes that were
There
the
was
most
a
popular.
BW. There were a
Air Max
couple
1,
one.
yeah.
There was
So, like-
So are you
97.
dropping this?
No, but I'm staying away from it.
Well, you know, if you look at the top,
If your friends who like always link you up on the Nike sneakers app like magically pop one of these and like in your car, would you?
Wait, he has hookups in the Nike sneakers?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
that's-
Eric wore the French one yesterday, and you know, there's a Velcro, the
Yeah,
flag
the
comes
flag
off,
comes
so
off.
you don't have to.
There
you go. I'll do that
You don't
one.
have to set trip.
Yeah.
We
But
also
I-
look at what we're trying to drop this week, and Brendan and I are in unison, in agreement in this
As we often are.
often.
Synced up,
The City
mentally.
Pack Air more up tempos
God,
are an
yeah.
absolute atrocity.
God
they are a
damn it.
travesty to humanity, and I cannot believe that Nike is even attempting this. Brendan?
So, please make it stop.
You know what? I'm happy that these sneakers are dropping so you guys can stop adding me on Twitter and Instagram with these fucking photos. I don't ever want to see these shits again.
There was a. Let me get your opinion on this because there
So you
was.
don't like him?
No, they're not that great.
There was another sneaker blog out there who said that there's nothing more New York City than wearing these sneakers, wearing a Yankees fitted, and going to a bodega and eating a chopped cheese all at the same time.
That sounds like cultural appropriation to me. Welty, what are you dropping this week?
I'm actually dropping your cop.
Okay.
And
obviously.
it's a pair of Jordans. Would you imagine that?
Why would you drop these, Welty? The thing about it is you wouldn't even be in the running to cop these
In what?
in any sense. So what I'm trying to say is I
don't
might
know
try
what
to
he
cop
means.
the up tempo, right? Because I love that sneaker. But the NYC one is trash. So I'm dropping that. You wouldn't even be interested in this.
The problem is, I remember like I was working at Foot Locker the second time that these dropped, the mesh pair, and I remember the craziness behind it, and I don't think that this shoe's necessarily going to hit in the same way that the previous two altitudes were from like a kind of sneaker madness thing. We've seen that
Sure.
with 13s this year. 13s is kind of the wrong silhouette for Jordan at the moment, at least, and I think that like when these sneakers are like that kind of like sacred sometimes to like certain people or whatever, I think that keep them in the vaults instead of kind of watering down their legacy.
Okay.
That's my take on that.
There weren't that many pairs out there back in the days, right?
You guys are coming through and just shooting all of Welty's points down, though. What's up with that?
Yeah,
Let him live.
Do you think that shoe was? Were you a fan of it or no?
I mean, I love the French blue.
But this is a good sneaker.
Yeah, it's a wearable
Thank you.
sneaker.
Brendan, take us to our mailbag, please.
All right, before we get out of here, we want to take some user-submitted questions. If you ever have something you want to ask the esteemed full-size run panel, please do let us know in the YouTube comment section, on Twitter, Instagram. My DMs are always open as well, although I get a lot of them, so, you know, I'll get to you. First, we have R. Smith 1986 on Twitter asking, and I'll let our retail friends handle this, who will have the better 2018, Nike or Adidas?
From a hype perspective or from a financial perspective? Are you buying stock or are you buying?
We'll say from a hype perspective because that's more what we zero in
now
on.
anyway,
So, I'm all Ethereum.
So hard to say, actually. I mean, Adidas has been on a roll for a while. I think they are currently stumbling a little bit and trying to regroup after like the success that they had. So I would probably go with Nike for 18.
Okay.
Nike's back.
Like, yeah.
I mean, since August, Nike's back. I mean, they were never gone. They were just sort of added, control the sort of the hype thing, I guess. But you don't know nowadays because
you gotta say Adidas now, so we.
No, yeah, but I mean, we're sneakerheads. We love sneakers. Period. I'm gonna say Saucony. No.
Speaking of crazy comebacks,
no, but I think to be honest, a lot of the stuff that we see, that we've seen, it's just a small piece of what's coming out because the most of the stuff they haven't shown us yet.
Yeah.
It used to be quick
You'll
strikes.
tell us about that off camera.
Yeah, quick strikes and you know, these special drops used to be a few per month. Now it's actually more hype drops per week.
why can't I get any of these sneakers though? What do I have to do to rig your raffle?
He's lying. He's lying.
No, dead ass. I
He's
can't
lying.
get these sneakers. I want a raffle all year.
Depending on what you want.
I want everything size 10.
Next question in the mailbag we have is from Alejandro_17. You guys got to make these easier to pronounce. Will Nike basketball ever make a comeback?
Ever, like from
Ever's a
for
mighty
the
long
streets
time, right?
or like for functional purpose? Like for the streets, there will be like a new there will be a new basketball vibe going on sometime. Not 18, I don't think so.
Right. Couple
but
years down the line.
Like it all goes in circles. So like eventually, basketball as a functional shoe will have a street vibe again.
Yeah, it might take a while, but
Yeah, it's not tomorrow. No.
yeah. Last question we have, Old Coot on Twitter, always adding us, asking an appropriate one. What's your favorite Kobe sneaker?
Adidas Kobe 2.
Yeah, that's your favorite Kobe sneaker? I gotta say, Kobe 9 Elite Low. Kobe 9 Elite Low for me.
I'm going to say the Zoom Kobe 1.
Zoom Kobe 1.
Fellas?
Gentlemen?
Can we go pre-Kobe, like the Flight 2K4?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
That was like
Yeah.
Or like the
that was-
EQT
yeah.
elevation type thing.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that was
an amazing shoe.
so good. But I actually liked the last low one. Was it whatever they call it? Something Elite.
The Kobe 11?
Was that the Kobe
Of
11?
Nike?
They looked like a runner almost. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
I think that was a great shoe, even though people didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Fellas, before we get out of here, I want you guys to let everyone know, in New York at least, where can we visit Sneakers and Stuff and cop some sneakers and stuff?
21 Little West 12th Street.
It's actually 22.
Sorry,
22.
22.
Wrong side of the street.
I knew that.
22.
I knew that.
It was a long night last night. The
Yeah,
party,
we actually
right?
had a really good night. After the party, we went next door. We saw. First, we had
After the show was after party. Of
Yeah,
course,
we
right?
had a pretty nice lineup with a guy called Nancy Jones came on stage.
I've heard of him before.
Yeah,
He and I are
a
both
bunch
from
of-
Queens. And
Sorry,
then where
back-
can we meet you guys online?
Sneakersnstuff.com.
Sneakersnstuff.com.
that works.
Google it.
Or at Sneakers and Stuff
And your
_
DMs
NYC.
are open?
That.
No, but you can slide into
DMs
my
are
DM
open.
if you have questions about sneakers.
It's a
We
lot of
actually
sliding into
hired
DMs
like
going
3
on
people
today.
just responding to DMs this year, so it's a thing.
Eric, I want to wish you and Peter the best of luck here
Thank
in New
you,
York
thank
City,
you.
which is kind of our hometown, because you guys started in New York too, right?
Of course, we now we stay at the Standard. We used to stay at the YMCA.
Excuse
So
me.
it's a little bit different.
Oh, okay. I still stay in like the Motel
Yeah.
6, so whatever.
YMCA was great.
Yeah, shared bathrooms. That was like
Bunk beds,
Bunk beds.
brick view, brick wall view.
That's rustic. I'm Rich Mays Lopez.
I'm Brendan Dunn from SoulCollector.com.
I'm Matt Welty, editor of Complex Sneakers.
That was Full Size Run. See y'all in 2018.
Listen, this is important. I need you to subscribe. They're going to make me keep wearing these fake Skechers Yeezys until we hit 50,000 subscribers. So please subscribe to Soul Collector on YouTube.